One. Catherine Chadwick, you're here with me live on LinkedIn and YouTube. I am really excited for our conversation because I just adore you, and we've known each other now. I want to say for 3 years. Does that sound correct to you? We met
Mhm.
uh, through a variety of different little networking rooms during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and we have grown to work with each other more. We've hosted a couple of live parties together here in New York City. Uh, you always bring this really beautiful, bright light, and you always bring this really wonderful way of approaching and looking at mindset. And so
Ah,
we're gonna talk about that today because not only for those of you who are watching right now, but it's Lionsgate and Catherine. I don't know a lot about it except for the intentionality behind it and the intentionality of the things that I want to call into my life in this celestial time, I will say.
mhm.
Um, but I will also talk a little bit about confidently speaking because you're also a member of that community where we meet twice a week and we have fun together and we explore how to be more confident, compelling speakers who are able to pivot in the world with our communication. So, with that said, Catherine Chadwick, I would love for you to just do a brief introduction and let's just start this conversation and give our viewers right now as much like goodness as we possibly can on a Friday.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. And Meredith, I have to tell you, the adoration goes both ways, right?
Thank
Because you have your own bright light that you emanate all the time, and it's just like, oh my gosh, how fun is this? Because I think that that's how we got connected so easily, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like, well, she's fun, right?
Oh my goodness, yes. Well, the first time I saw you in a Zoom room, I'm like, "Who is this magical woman with such presence?
Well,
Good Lord."
it is. It's very fun, and what's really interesting is that one of my first projects, and I'm still, I still work with it, is the sunshine quotient, right?
Yeah.
And that's a term that refers to lighting gradients in photography and radiology, and I've applied it to people because we're light beings, and you can learn to adjust your level of radiance. And I work with it, and I work with clients with it, and having that visual makes a huge difference for people. And
Yeah.
I think that I love using it as a tool, and it's an age-old concept. I mean, I didn't make it all up on my own, right? So
Well, I would love can we just I want you, if you're okay with it, because I know we've known each other for several years now, and so I know quite a bit about you, and I know your story as well. And so I would love, if you're okay with it, to just share a bit of your story when you were younger and how it kind of got you here through the years to build this like really beautiful outlook and the mindset work that you've done that led you to the sunshine quotient. And you also have like your career path has been really interesting, like, and I just love all of the things that you do in the world. So is it okay to just kind of share your story a little bit with all of us?
I won't go into all the details, but I will start out that it was a pretty rocky start.
Hmm.
Let's just leave it at that, right?
Yeah.
And I spent a tremendous amount of time outside. My refuge was a huge dirt pile, and I had diggers and trucks and scoopers and spoons and shovels, and I build roadways, and I'm building all these little villages in my mind, right? As I'm working in this dirt pile, and the dirt pile was like big, and I think that being immersed in the outdoors like that got me so in tune with nature
Hmm.
that that's been a beautiful gift for
Yeah.
me. And it's so easy for me to relate to how we are a part of nature and how we can use that and how we relate with our environments and the universal energy, what I often refer to as the universal soup. And so I was an angry kid,
Hmm.
and I grew up to be a very elegant bully. I played center forward on the soccer team, and that was my MO. If I could mow you over, I would. And so nobody was talking to me about going to college. I'm going because I think at that time, I think that that's what I have to do in order to be successful, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And because that was the mindset at the time.
Mhm.
And my grandmother was a nurse, and she was a director of nursing at a local hospital, and everybody loved her. She was fabulous. And I'm like, well, I'm good in math and science. I can do that. And so that went from one thing to another. And by the time I was 23, I was the charge nurse of an intensive care unit, a small one down in Florida. And by the time I'm 25, I've had the lumbar crumble. I'm in a hip to breast back brace. I'm walking the beach in a bikini and a back brace, about 30 pounds lighter than you see me now. And my mantra is, this is not going to be my life. And started I got introduced to Dr. Wayne Dyer, fortunately.
Yeah.
I started learning about body mind connection, and I'm like, "Oh, all right, this is the ticket." And how come I've been through 4 years of nursing college and nobody's talked about that? But it took me back to my childhood as far as being all tangled up in nature and feeling to be a part of it. And
Mhm,
so I've been studying it from various angles since then.
mhm.
And I just love it, and I love talking to people about it, because I really believe that if people understand how they operate, I mean, truly how they operate, they make much better decisions for themselves. And as you just have to walk down the street to see there are an awful lot of folks that are not very healthy and not very happy.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has to be that way.
No, it doesn't. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit of your story. I really appreciate that. I do, because I feel like our individual journeys are so important to just help others also see possibility in themselves. And so I appreciate it when you share your story as well. And I just want to do a shout out to the viewers right now that if you are watching right now, I'm here with Catherine Chadwick. Please, if you do have questions about the topic that we're discussing right now, please feel free to put those in the chat and the comments, because we would love to have you as a part of the conversation as well.
Yeah.
And this is for all of the Confidently Speaking members, which is a membership where you get to exercise your speaking skills with a really amazing group of humans. And one of the things I do about once or twice a year is I do these LinkedIn Lives
Mhm.
with members of the community, because you're worth highlighting. And I want everyone to know what your beautiful brilliance and wisdom are. And so here we are doing that. So I wanted to do that shout out to our viewers. Catherine, let's keep talking about mindset, because it is a big deal. And the
Yeah.
mind body connection
Mhm.
is so important. And you were able to transform because of that. Do you want to speak into that a little bit more?
I will, but before I get to there, I also want to talk about the body mind connection in connection with confidently speaking.
Okay.
Because when people are connected to their voice,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Yeah.
And what I really love about confidently speaking is that it's a very safe environment, and we have fun.
We do
And I,
have fun.
and I think the life is supposed to be fun. And if it's not fun, don't do it, right? So, I mean, not every little thing is fun. There's the mundane list of things that you have to accomplish. However, in the big picture, if you're not having fun, don't do it, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I think confidently speaking is fabulous, and I would recommend it to anybody.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
Oh,
Catherine. And Cheyenne, just we're waving to you. Hi.
yeah.
Aw.
And
We miss you.
I
From two,
know, right?
two amazing strong women to another strong woman, amazing strong woman. Good to see you. Um, I had a conversation with another person today, a one-on-one who I just met today, and we were just talking about living in the unknown. And the thing that I really love about improv and in general, and then what we're doing in confidently speaking, is we're also training ourselves to live in the unknown and to be able to pivot in those spaces.
Mhm.
And that can be very scary for people. And there's great calmness that comes, and confidence that comes with being able to live in the unknown. And so that is something that I very much love exploring with all of you as well in that group.
Well, the beautiful thing is that when we realize that we're always moving into the unknown, Right. I mean, we can plan to what's going to happen tomorrow, but we don't actually know what's going to happen
Right.
tomorrow. I mean, how many times has life been turned upside down, in just a matter of seconds?
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, okay. Wasn't what I expected, but here I am.
Here I am, right?
And now what, right?
Yeah.
And so it's imperative, and I believe, going along with being comfortable with going into the unknown, the more present that anyone can be
Mm.
is such a huge gift, right? Because that's where the power is.
Mhm.
When people get all caught up in worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow,
Mhm.
or caught up in the loop of what happened yesterday or 5 years ago or whenever, they're kind of missing their life,
Mhm.
because it's time that's really being wasted, because the only power and the only time that's actually happening is right now. Right?
It's right now. Okay, so this is good. Hi, Ruthie. Good to see you as well.
Lucy.
So let's talk about this a little bit too, because there's this. Let's be present, right? Let's live in the now.
Mhm.
Let's be okay with the unknown, and then there's the work on the mindset and intentionality and belief, and being able to see your future self. And so all of these things that you have so gloriously like studied and have helped people with that mind body connection piece too. Can you speak into that a little bit for folks?
I think it's imperative to be intentional, because otherwise we're very prone to just going here and there with a lot of distractions, and we lose our trajectory, right?
Mhm.
And um, it's kind of a funny analogy, but it's kind of fun to think about it this way. It's almost like planning your vacation, right?
Mhm.
And where do you want to where are you going on vacation in 6 months? And so if you want to, plan a trip to Paris, okay, you're exploring how you're going to get there. Where do you want to stay? What part of the city do you want to be in? How long are you going to stay? And all of these things. Life is like that.
Mhm.
If people are not intentional about where they're going and have a very clear intention,
Mhm.
then it's almost you end up almost being like, like the scarecrow at the intersection of the Wizard of Oz. You've got this split energy,
Right.
and you're not going anywhere, right?
Right, I mean, we were talking about this analogy earlier too. You said, or you end up in Alaska.
Or you end up that's
Yeah,
right, right?
totally end up in a totally completely different state and country. So yeah, it's true. Like when you put your intention, but I feel like there's this piece to it as well, which is you have to believe it.
Well, what's fascinating is, because we're electromagnetic,
Hmm.
and the thoughts have an electrical charge, and the emotion, the feeling has the magnetic charge. In order to have that strong connection, you've got to have the emotion, and it's actually
Hmm.
the emotion that is the messenger. Because if you don't believe it and you don't have that emotion that's attached to it, it's kind of like the balloon keeps deflating,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. The helium is just leaked out and it's not going anywhere.
Okay, so let's play with this a little bit. Let's just imagine there's somebody who's watching right now or who's going to watch this later on, and they're thinking to themselves, I really do want that body mind voice connection. I want to be able to reach more people. I want to be on stages, but they feel there's something holding them back from doing that. There's a resistance. There's a procrastination, if you will. What would your advice be to that person?
It's interesting because procrastination is a form of fear,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
And when we keep putting things off, um, it's actually, I think, it has been also referred to as a thief or a robber of dreams, because if you don't take the actions, nothing's happening, right?
mhm, mhm,
And so even if you are afraid to do it, it's imperative to just do it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, nothing's perfect. I don't even use that P word anymore. because because the energy is moving so quickly. What might have seemed like a perfect solution right now that moment has passed, and we have new, information that has come along that has informed us. And I believe that in my own instance, there was a time I wasn't putting my voice out there. I was afraid of the judgment. I was afraid that I wasn't articulate enough. I hadn't studied enough, and attesting to that aspect of it. This is hysterical because I'm back in school again.
Like, I'm not gonna let fear define me. No. Well, let me ask you this, Catherine. Okay, so fear to me is it's yes, there's fear, that's the resistance. And to me, I'm going to make an assumption here, but it's the fear of failure, right? It's the fear of failing, whatever failure looks like to you. But I'm curious about, help me out a little bit with, because I know like the defining moment, like there are defining moments in my life where I did not use my voice and I allowed somebody else to take that power from me.
Mhm.
Can you think, is there a defining moment in your life where you are like, I am not going to let anyone take my voice away from me again, or I'm not going to get in my own way anymore?
Mhm.
Can you share that with us?
I've been reminded several times.
I know, right? That's like, there's not, tell me what, I want to hear one story though, right? Just one story. Like, where were you? What were you doing? What happened? Who is that person?
I was going through a dissolution of the marriage.
Okay.
And what's fascinating is, this was not a rehearsed comment at all. What came out of my mouth was, there's so much more to my life than helping you live yours.
Mm,
And I think that applies to many people. I think it applies to many situations.
mhm.
And I think it's imperative that we stand up for ourselves, that we um, help to develop the environments that we choose to stay in. Because when we settle for less, when we don't use our voices, when we stay in environments where people rub us the wrong way, the environment is not conducive to our well-being, but we stay there because I need the job, or this is my family, or this is whatever it might be. When we just go along for the ride, that affects our health. And when you think of and this falls right into the statistic of about 95% of health conditions and illnesses are lifestyle induced. So let's talk about these things. When we do not use our voices, when we do not um, take the time, I believe, to be true to ourselves and really develop what our purpose is, then we give a lot of it away, and we jeopardize not only our enjoyment of the life, but the quality of our life and what we can accomplish, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, thank you. That's beautiful. Like, my friend Jamar always says, change your circle, change your life.
Mhm. Yep, no
Right?
question. And that's the other thing that's fascinating too, is people kind of put their identity on as their cloak, right?
Yeah.
And then they think that that's their identity for their whole life. Well, no. If you want to go to the Paris trip, you may have to make some changes in order to make whatever arrangements you need to make. And you are actually becoming a new identity as you move forward with all of these things. And I have a little note to myself on my refrigerator:
Mhm.
identity requires daily attention.
Well, I love that. My quote, it's not on my refrigerator, but I say it often, which is, we are all beautiful, constant works in progress.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when
Yeah.
you think about our being part of the universal energy, and what's interesting now about a lot of the conversation and what's being written about in regard to the Lionsgate portal. And some
Mhm.
people believe in it and some people do not. And just like a lot of things, right?
That's okay.
It's okay.
We love you
Absolutely.
all, most of
Absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. But when you think about us all being a part of nature
Yeah,
and all being part of this universal energy, the universal soup, and the stars and the planets and everything is always in motion.
always.
And there
Yeah.
are fluctuations in the energetic pulls.
Mhm.
What's interesting about portals, I've read two different opinions on that because with the let me see how with everything in motion and the planets lining up as they are right now, the energetic pull is different than it would be if they were in different positions.
Yeah, yep.
And then there's a school of thought that the portal, because of the way we think and how we choose to feel, that the portals are actually within us, right? Just like our power is within us, right? And what our perception is and what our perspective is.
I'm just sitting with that for a minute.
I think
Yeah.
it's a, I think it's a combination.
I feel like it's a combination. I mean, especially when you look at nature and you see that just the cyclical activity of nature, for
Right.
me, it's just really hard not to see it. It's just it's humans as creatures on this planet, as plant life, the cycle of the moons, the cycle of planets,
Yeah,
it's all cycle. So
right.
it's really difficult, and then we're just a part of that energetically. And so we have so much more power than we give ourselves credit for having. We become very dependent on other to guide us.
Hmm.
When I do feel that a lot of the guiding is internal, but it's also being in tune at the same time.
Oh, I believe that too, because
Yeah.
I think that um, going back to an analogy of movement, if you're in a vehicle, obviously you're the one that is operating that vehicle, and you are in tune, hopefully, with the other people that are out there in their own vehicles, and it's a dance.
It's improvisation.
Exactly.
It's improv. That's all it is. And this is what I love about what you just said. It's a great analogy for it, right? It's that people often think improv is just making stuff up on the spot, but yes, it is, but within the confines of something, right? So we have traffic signs and traffic rules, but yet everyone's dancing within the confines of that space,
Right.
and the structure, the rules, the stuff, that we've been given. And so that's all what we're all really doing
That's right.
on a regular basis. My favorite place to practice that, I think I've said this to the group before, which is I don't love going to Times Square, but when I do, because it's very crowded, but I go there on purpose sometimes and walk through it if I have to get to the train, um, and just walk through the people, like looking straight ahead and just acting and reacting based off of where other people are moving. And it's a game that I play where I'm just going to wind in and out of people and I'm not going to ever touch anyone. I'm never going to run into anybody. It's so much fun.
Well, what's
So much fun.
fascinating about
Yeah.
that is I do the same thing, and I experiment with making myself really big
Yeah.
energetically,
Yeah.
and then nobody bumps into me. And then when I'm not paying attention or I'm not making myself as big energetically, that's when you get bumped and jostled around a little bit. And also along with that, put in an experimentation with intention, right? And focus, it makes a huge difference.
And so now we're moving into presence, right? So,
Yes.
right? And then and I well, it's so beautiful because of my acting training in the past. I remember I had an instructor that just we walked around a studio and we all pretended, we imagined that we were in these big spheres of space, right? And we were always in the center of the sphere. It doesn't matter where in the room we were
Right.
always the center. And there
Mhm.
was something really energetic and magical about that as you were moving in and out through time and space and other bodies and objects, that it really does help build this sense of presence and awareness that can command a space, command the attention of a room.
Oh, of
You
course,
don't
because
it's
yeah,
a
we're
feeling.
broadcasting
It's
constantly.
a feeling. It's a
It
right? On a cellular level too.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's also an energetic field
Yeah.
that is out there,
Yeah.
right? And because we're broadcasting constantly. And so it's imperative for people to ask themselves, "What am I
What
broadcasting?
am I broadcasting?
What am I doing?" Right?
Oh
Because
my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, so I'm excited because we're gonna play with some of this stuff. So Cheyenne put in the chat that she's coming to Unscripted in October, and you're also
oh, me
coming to
too.
Unscripted in
Yay!
October. So I wanted to share that really
That's
fun
fabulous.
piece. Jamar, who I mentioned, is co-hosting that with me, and
Mhm.
we are gonna explore some of this stuff
Okay,
that we're
good.
talking about right now, which is just how do you take up physical space? How how can you have that relationship with the audience, with time, with space, and just do it in such a like a beautiful present way.
Mhm.
I'm so excited to play with that.
I know, it's going to be really fun. And what often, I love the way you start the classes with the breath work
Mm,
and getting in tune with ourselves because that is a fabulous way to start every day, and several times a day to just bring yourself back to you to be mindful.
yeah.
And what's interesting is that because your radiance is a reflection of your level of vibration.
Mhm.
And going back to the sunshine quotient, if you visualize and imagine that you're breathing in the light and that
Mm,
light is just coming in and filling you up, and you can use it to heal yourself. You can use it to make your heart big and glowing, right? It's what you're imagining. And you can actually raise your level of vibration and the more influence you have in your sphere.
mhm. Mhm. Ah, yeah, beautiful. What I would love, can we do this really quick? I know that we're getting close to time, but will you lead us through just a short breath exercise using that?
Oh, sure.
Would you? Just for
Yeah.
some of the people who are watching right now who are like, "That sounds awesome, but give me a little bit of guidance."
So just kind of just, yeah, stretch a little bit and put your feet flat on the floor,
Mm,
stand or whatever. Just relax, close your eyes if you like, and take a breath in through the nose. And while you're bringing that breath in, imagine and visualize that you're breathing in the sunlight and it's filling you up, and your heart's getting bigger, it's glowing. Your body is getting more relaxed, and it's also more radiant, even down to your toes, coming out the top of your head. Did you know that your pineal gland has crystals in it? And so that's a whole nother conversation, but we'll get back to the breathing.
we're gonna have to episode number 2, pineal gland, just so I can say it 10 times fast.
Yeah. And so what's fascinating is when you do this breath in through the nose with the visualization, exhale through the mouth. And there are so many different types of breathing. And I always say, do what's comfortable for you,
Mhm,
right? Do a
mhm,
count that's comfortable for you,
mhm.
and don't rush it,
Mm,
because
mhm,
when you rush it, you have a tendency to begin that, to hyperventilate, and that's not good for anybody. But also visualize that when you take in that light and breathe in the light, you're also stimulating the vagus nerve, which is connected to almost every organ in your body. And when you engage that, it also engages your parasympathetic nervous system, the calming side of your nervous system. And so it's physiologically sound
mhm,
that you can count on this breath to calm yourself.
mhm.
And I encourage people to practice it several times a day for 6 or 7 breaths at a time, because then when you start to get anxious, you go, "Oh, I have my breath."
I have my breath. Oh, you hear me preach that all the time. I'm
Right.
like, I'm not gonna be there, like, going like this to you, but you will hear my voice in your head because 'cause I've repeated myself enough times.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Breathe, because when you need it, we'll be there for you.
I know, right?
I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, in the past couple of weeks where, uh, I needed it and it was there because I remembered,
Mhm.
right? And,
Yeah.
like, 'cause the thing is that I feel that people don't realize is that you might feel as calm as a cucumber, and then the next minute, you're having a panic attack or you can't breathe or you feel anxious and you don't know why.
Mhm.
Um, it's really interesting how it can just pop up.
Well, what's interesting, I've had that happen to me where I started to get anxious because my mind kinda went blank. I allowed myself to get distracted, and then I forgot what I was talking about, and then I'm in the middle of something, it's just like, "Oh, well, this is exciting." Right? And it's just like, let's take a breath and regroup," right? And I think it's important to be able to do that because none of us get through life without having one of those things happen to us.
Never. Yep. It happens to me pretty much daily now where I'm in the middle of something, I can't remember what I was saying, but that's also for another episode. Uh, Catherine, this was thank you. This was a wonderful conversation. I feel like the
You.
people who are watching, listening, they got a lot of good nuggets out of this from you today. So thank you. Thank you, Ruthie. Thank you, Cheyenne, for watching. If you
Yeah.
were also watching, I thank you, audience. We'll be back here on the 12th, also, I believe at noon. Don't quote me on that, but we'll be speaking with Wei,
Yeah.
who's also a member of Confidently Speaking. So tune in for that. And Catherine, if you're not following her on LinkedIn, please do. Please find her on
You.
YouTube. Connect with her. She's a wonderful soul with a wealth of wisdom.
Well, thank you. This has been so much fun being here with you, Meredith. I love every conversation we ever have.
I do as well. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Bye.